Lord Mayor, you know what I mean? Again, it's no different than any other the other processes that have taken place.
Councillor Flynn, what's the problem?
Sorry, there's no problem. I'm just saying that it's no different than any other the process that takes place. The only difference is...
Next item.
May I just say, Lord Mayor, it's just very quickly.
We have a busy agenda.
The only difference is, it's very, very quick, is that the manager's position is advertised in the public, where the Lord Mayor's position isn't, and the Chair's positions in this Council aren't.
Thank you.
So I think we should take a leaf from that book.
Item 8, Lord Mayor, is to fill the vacancy on the Talca Area Partnership following the resignation of Councillor Ruairi McGinley from that committee.
Lord Mayor, if that could be deferred, please. Could we defer that, please? Could that be deferred? Yeah, I propose that it be deferred.
You want to defer it? Councillor Lacey. Any other proposals? Councillor Flynn?
Lord Mayor, I object to this item being deferred. I think that this item should not be deferred. There is no valid reason why it should be deferred. It's been on the books since last month. Councillor McGinley was appointed. He resigned.
Have you a proposal?
I'm proposing myself for the position of the Tampa Bar, and they've been seconded. May I just say...
Hold on a second. Hang on a second. I'm getting on the proposals out first. Okay. So have we a seconder for that? Okay, Councillor McAuliffe. Any other proposals? Councillor Burke.
Yeah, Lord Mayor, I support the proposal of Councillor Mannix Flynn to the Temple Bar Board. Now, for the life of me, I cannot understand why it's being deferred. I mean, it's not the United Nations it's being appointed to. So really, when I understand that there was a request made to another independent councillor to go on the board for tonight's meeting. That independent councillor rejected that offer, and yet when it comes to Councillor Flynn being proposed, we're now getting told it's being deferred. So could the manager tell me as to why and what reason is it being deferred?
Okay, any other speakers? Councillor Flynn, you wanted to say something, so go ahead.
Yes, I do indeed.
Okay, we have all proposals on the table.
I'm very familiar with the board of Temple Bar Cultural Trust, and I served on the board for 2.5 years before my resignation. All the issues that I resigned for have now been cleared up in relation to Temple Bar Cultural Trust. As I say, I've been very, very strong on the board there. I've made all my attendances. I was responsible for actually having 2 reports into Temple Bar Cultural Trust, which led to the company actually being examined, and the board deciding to go into a process of actually winding down that. I was very much involved with making sure that this company, which controls an asset by Dublin City Council, was held accountable for all the assets. So as I say, my record within Temple Bar Cultural Trust is 100%. When I resigned from Temple Bar Cultural Trust, I resigned on issues which were basically around the fact that corporate governance was not being adhered to. There was issues around governance, and there was issues around accountability in regards to the audit reports. All those issues have been actually satisfied. I was led to believe that a colleague of mine would take the position once I actually resigned from the board as an independent colleague. Unfortunately, due to personal circumstances, he's not able to do that. None of my colleagues at the Independents are willing to serve on the board of Temple Bar Cultural Trust, and I'm quite willing to go out there and finish out my remit on that board. As I say, my credentials are immaculate. I have done, I believe, what I believe it to be a proper and protect situation. I basically have stood alone on that board and have not got much support from various individuals on that board. However, that board now has been completely refreshed, and there's another opportunity for the whole Temple Bar area. So I nominate myself unless there's some extraordinary situation out there that would lead to a deferral of this. I believe we should proceed with this nomination. Thank you very much.
Okay, Councillor O'Toole.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I just want to support the Speaker to ask for this to go ahead, this appointment, this vacancy to be filled tonight, the appointment go ahead, because earlier this evening, as group leaders we met, and as far as I understood it, we agreed that this would go ahead tonight. Nothing, to my mind, has changed in the meantime. So I think I strongly urge the Council to go ahead with this appointment this evening. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
2 more speakers. Councillors Tormey.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. I think I want to support Mannix for the following reasons. I think that holding the administration to account is the job of a public representative. And if any councillor in this chamber has held the administration of whatever board they're on, or whatever facility they have been put on the management side of, has done a better job than Mannix Flynn, I don't know who they are. And I want to say this, that Mannix is the person the management do not want to see on the board. So can I have more Mannix, please?
Thank you. 3 more speakers. Councillor O'Farrell.
Thank you, Chair. No, you took the words out of my mouth, Councillor Tormey. I mean, I can't think of no reason, and I'd be interested to hear what the manager or Councillor Vinci has to say about deferring this matter, but I can't think of one reason why Mannix wouldn't be appointed to the board. If his only crime is doing an excellent job, you know, so he should be back, and I'm sure he'll, when it's put to a vote, he'll get support from all around the House. I think people appreciate the work that he's done. Thank you.
The final 2 speakers, Councillor Vinci and Councillor Lacey. Councillor Vinci, just in relation to deferral, can you just...
Yes. I'll explain why I wish to have the matter deferred, and I suppose I should start by pointing out that although this is an appointment to replace Councillor Ruairi McGinley, it isn't really. It's an appointment to replace Mannix Flynn, Councillor Mannix Flynn, who resigned from the board. And I think that needs to be clarified, because first of all, I think we need to pay tribute to the work that Mannix Flynn did on the board of Temple Bar Cultural Trust. I'm also on the board, and he has done Trojan work on that board since I joined the board approximately just almost 2 years ago. He has worked extremely hard on that board to bring accountability and transparency to Temple Bar Cultural Trust. When I joined the board, I didn't know all that much about corporate governance. I've learnt more being on that board about corporate governance than I've learnt in 4 years in Trinity College and 2 years in King's Inns. It has been an education, and Mannix has led the way. When I first joined the board, when it was first debated in this chamber, I followed Mannix's lead and called for it to be wound up. I stayed on the board after calling for it to be wound up because I believed that the corporate governance of that board was vital for this council, and I continued on that board throughout. I continued on that board after the audit report, which showed serious problems historically on that. I worked along with a few others on the Finance and Audit Committee to put in new corporate governance structures, even though it was likely that it would be wound up, and I have continued in my position that it should be wound up, and it is currently being wound up. All of that said, we're now being asked to reappoint somebody who has just resigned from the board, while a number of very delicate investigations are ongoing. It can't have escaped the attention of councillors that this matter has been in the newspapers recently, while there's both there's investigations on whether disciplinary procedures should be followed, and there's other investigations that include investigations of board members, current and past, for breaches of corporate governance. And because of this, I will not vote against Mannix Flynn going on the board right now, but I do not think that this is the vote we should be having. I think that we should be deferring it for a month until we have the full picture from the reports, and until the board has had time to consider matters, and until councillors have had time to consider matters, and then let whoever wants to put the name forward and we have a debate on the likely candidates. So, in the interest of good corporate governance, and as I say, it's good corporate governance that Councillor Flynn has put in place, I'm asking the councillors to wait 1 month before they decide on this important issue. There are plenty of board members at the moment. One extra for 1 month won't make a difference.
You, Councillor Lacey, do you want to speak?
No, Councillor Vinci has made a case.
Fine.
Councillor Jackson.
Lord Mayor, every member that spoke here tonight has actually, I suppose, instilled in me a belief that Councillor Flynn's proposal to go forward back onto the board of Temple Bar Properties tonight is a valid one, and I would ask that the item be put to the members here tonight and we'd expedite it rather than putting it back another month. I don't think there's anything to be gained for 1 month, and as Councillor Vinci said, if the board is in the process of being wound up, well, it's not going to make a huge amount of difference, and I think he has made an exemplary role on the board of Temple Bar Properties over the last couple of years in particular, and a lot of issues that have evolved and have come out into the media and come out to this City Council will ensure that the taxpayer and the ratepayers of this city are to the better off of a very substantial amount of money in the long term, and there's lessons in this for everybody here. So I'll ask that the item be put to the members. Thanks, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. 2 more speakers, Councillor Fitzpatrick and Councillor O'Callaghan.
Yeah, thank you, Lord Mayor. Just on behalf of the Fianna Fáil group, we would be in favour of the matter being put to the members tonight, and Councillor Mannix Flynn's nomination we will support. No other councillor has made as big a contribution to trying to save the Temple Bar Cultural Trust. He's demonstrated a dedication to not only Temple Bar but also to this City Council and to City Council's appropriate participation in an organisation. There's no valid argument to defer it. He can only make a good contribution, and we shouldn't waste the opportunity by deferring his nomination and his return to that organisation, and we should do so tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, briefly, Lord Mayor, usually vacancies are deferred because we can't get a candidate to fill a particular position. Here we have a candidate. No argument's been put up against him. If there was a valid reason set out as to what will happen in the month by it being deferred, I'd listen to it, but no argument's been made as to what's going to happen in the month as opposed to now. We have a candidate, he's keen to do it, and he's shown competence in it before, so I think we should proceed with it now.
Okay, thank you. Now I have two proposals. One is a deferral, and then the other is Councillor Flynn. I have to take the proposals in the order in which they were proposed. So we take the deferral first. If that is defeated, then we take Councillor Flynn. If the first motion or the first proposal passes, the second is not taken. Okay?
So the result of that is for a deferral 21, against a deferral 27, 2 abstentions and 2 absent. So that's defeated. So we now proceed with the item on the agenda to fill the vacancy on the board, and the nominations are Councillor Mannix Flynn, proposed by himself and seconded by Councillor Paul McAuliffe. Is that agreed?
Say this, Lord Mayor, I just simply cannot understand why Councillor
Flynn, it's failed now. Come on.
I can't understand why they wouldn't do it in the first instance.
It's failed. The position is failed. Thank you.